we're going to learn Hey Mr. Miller. It's a part song in 3 parts based on a melody from Glenn Miller, who was a swing style band leader from the 1940s. He was really famous, and his band came over from America during the war to entertain all the troops in the UK. So I'm going to teach that to you. It gives lots of scope for pretending to be an instrument at the end and doing scat singing. Scat singing is when you sing nonsense words and syllables, ba-ba-da-bat, that kind of thing. So let's learn Mr. Miller. We're going to learn it in sections, and we're going to learn it call and copy, so I'll sing it and you copy it back. Here's the first section. If you remember, I'll sing it to you. It goes like this. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Because this piece is in swing style. It's very hoppy, skippy, jumpy, jaggedy. And it's syncopated too. It pushes against the beat. So, here's the first phrase. I'll sing it, you copy it back. Hey, Mr. Miller. You do it. Hey, Mr. Miller. Next bit. What a swing that you bring to the band. You do it. What a swing that you bring to the band. Put it together and it sounds like this. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. You do it. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. The next bit's got a little snap of the fingers in, just so that it really pushes against the beat and we remember to stop and breathe. With your trombone and your saxophone. So here's the beat. I'll do it again. Snap your fingers with me. With your trombone and your saxophone. You do it. Ready, steady, off we go. With your trombone and your saxophone. One more time and off we go. With your trombone and your saxophone. Next bit. You can hear it all through the land. You can hear it all through the land. Again. You can hear it all through the land. So the bit from the very beginning goes like this. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. You do it. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. Let's do it from the beginning. Hey, Mr. Miller. Remember that bit? Here we go. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. Let's do the syncopated scat section at the end, which goes ba ba da ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da ba 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 do wa. Now, if that sounds really hard, let's do it backwards, and let's start from the ba ba do wa, which goes up an arpeggio. 1 3 5 8 ba ba do wa. Just sing ba ba do wa again, ba ba do wa again, ba ba do wa. Okay, use those same notes again at the beginning. Ba ba da ba, ba ba da ba. Okay, this time when we get to the top, we're going to repeat it. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. How many times? Ba ba da ba 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 ba. 4. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. Again. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. Okay, next bit. Ba da ba da da. Ba da ba da da. Again. Ba da ba da da. Again. Ba da ba da da. Put those all together and it sounds like this. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba da da. Ready, steady, and off you go. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba da da. One more time, off we go. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba da da. And again, one more for luck. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba-da-da, and then we go up a very small gap. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. 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 It's a chromatic scale. It goes every semitone all the way down. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Again. Ba-ba-da-da-da-ba-ba. Again. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. And then we do the ba-ba-do-ba at the end. So when you finished it all, it sounds like this. We'll do it a couple of times. Here we go. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. Hey, Mr. Miller, what a swing that you bring to the band. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land. With your trombone and your saxophone, you can hear it all through the land.
Hello, it's Mr. Courtney here, one of the tutors in the music service. Mrs. Rayner has just taken you through the singing part of Hey Mr. Miller, and I'm here today to help you learn and perform some of the rhythms of the song. So, what are we going to look at today? We will be learning note lengths and values and seeing how these look as proper notation. Some of you may already know these, but it's always good to have a little refresher. We will be taking these notes and putting them into rhythm grids. This will help us see how long the notes last. And using some homemade percussion instruments, I'll talk more about that in a second, we will perform these rhythms alongside the Hey Mr. Miller backing track. We may even have a go at performing all the rhythms together at the end. So let's talk a little bit about the music and its place in history. Glenn Miller was an American musician and composer who led one of the most famous big bands in the world. His music was extremely popular during the Second World War. Its upbeat tunes and driving rhythms helped lift people's mood and distract them from the conflict. Dance halls around the world would be filled with music just like his, where people could dance away their troubles. The instruments that make up a big band lend themselves to this type of music extremely well. Saxophones, trumpets and trombones were at the core of the group, and their big brassy nature suited the music perfectly. Often there would be a chance for the musicians to improvise during their performance. That means making something up on the spot. In this next video, we'll see how Glenn Miller and his orchestra would have entertained the troops during his time in Britain. We'll be hearing his famous piece, In the Mood, which is where our Hey Mr. Miller song gets its inspiration. Can you see and hear the different instruments that make up the big band? Are there any improvised solos? Let's watch. Some of you may already have found or created your own wonderful percussion instruments at home, but for those who haven't, it couldn't be easier. You can use any number of things from around the house. Just be sure to check with an adult first before using it. We don't want the fine china to be broken. If you can find two hollow objects that you can hit as drums, that would be great. Some obvious suggestions could be two different sized saucepans faced upside down, two different sized buckets or containers, again upside down on the floor would be great, two different sized empty tins, maybe a baked bean can or a sweet corn can. You can even use a couple of empty plastic bottles that you can fill with seeds to turn into shakers. Using wooden spoons as beaters is ideal if you have them, otherwise pencils are a good substitution. Whatever you choose, make sure to check with an adult beforehand. If you can use your instruments while sitting down on the floor, that would be fantastic. The first thing we need to work out is how many beats there are on a bar. What's a bar? Well, music is broken down into small sections of time called bars. Most music has a regular beat, also known as a pulse, and this can be felt throughout the bar. Now it's up to us to work out how many beats there are on a bar altogether. We're going to start by listening to the music and feeling that pulse. Does one beat feel stronger? If it does, that's the first beat in the bar, and it's often easier to pick out than the others. You can see in the example to the left that there are 3 beats in the bar on the top and 5 in the bottom. But what about Mr. Miller? Well, let's listen. Listen carefully to see if you can hear any repeated patterns in the music. How often do they repeat? How many beats do they last? Let's listen. Once you think you've found the first beat of the bar, clap or play that one aloud, and keep doing that for a while. Can you work out how many more beats there are on a bar before it repeats? If you need a little longer to figure it out, please pause and rewind the video. So, did you work it out? There are actually 4 beats in a bar. We're going to clap or play along with the music using 1-beat notes called crotchets. You can see how these look in the grid to the left. To help us, we will call these T for now. We read this rhythm grid just like we would a book, from top left to bottom right. Let's try clapping or playing along with a backing track, and try making that first note louder than the others. I will play first, and then it's your turn. I will play again, and then it's over to you for the final time. Here we go. Your turn. Your turn. Well done. Remember, you can always pause and rewind the video if you need another go. We're now going to try and make our rhythm a little more interesting. We're going to be using half-beat notes, known as quavers. You can see these in the grid to the right. They're usually joined up and holding hands at the top, so that 2 quavers fill the space of 1 beat. To make things easier, you can think of these as coffee, coffee, coffee. You can see the rhythm now uses a mixture of crotchet, 1-beat notes, and quavers, half-beat notes. Let's try saying the rhythm through with the words tea, coffee, tea, etc. Here we go. Remember, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Tea, coffee, 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 tea. Your turn. Tea, coffee, 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 tea. Your turn. Well done. Now let's try out on our instruments. You can play it all on one instrument or use a different instrument for the quavers if you're feeling adventurous. My turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Here we go. Your turn. Your turn. Excellent. It's sounding good, but it still feels like there's something missing. To complete our first rhythm, we're going to make it swung. To do this, we're going to make the first quaver in every pair longer and the second quaver shorter. This makes the rhythm much more jazzy and exciting. You might find it helpful to think of the word saxophone from the song and break it up slightly to get the swing rhythm. Think phone, saxophone, saxophone, saxophone. Let's try saying the words through with the music. My turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Phone, saxophone, 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 saxophone. Your turn. Phone, saxophone, 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 saxophone. Your turn. Well done. Now let's move on to our instruments. Again, you can use one instrument all the way through if you would rather, or you can use a different one for the quavers to get different sounds. Here we go. Your turn. Your turn. Excellent work. It's beginning to sound more like Mr. Miller. Let's move on to a second rhythm. Remember, the second rhythm uses a lot of long notes, the first of which is a long 4-beat note known as a semibreve. You can see these notes look different to the ones you've been using so far, as they are hollow and they don't have a stem. That's the sticky out bit at the top. We also use 2-beat notes called minims. These are also hollow, but these do have a stem. It can get a little bit confusing, so we will have a few practices with this rhythm so that we are happy with the differences. We're going to clap through the rhythm first. When we clap the long notes, keep your hands together for the duration so you get used to its length. As always, it's my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Your turn. Your turn. Let's try that on the instruments. Again, you could use one instrument for the semibreves, that's the 4-beat notes, and one for the minims, that's the 2-beat notes. My turn first. Your turn. turn. Well done! Let's move on to the final rhythm of the week. Remember, you can always rewind to practice more. This final rhythm uses a dotted minim which is worth 3 beats, followed by a dotted quaver semi-quaver pattern. Okay, that sounded quite confusing, didn't it? Well, don't worry. It's actually just "Hey, Mr. Miller," which we've heard quite a few times now, so we can probably do this with our eyes closed. You may notice the rhythm grid is incomplete. For now, I would like you to fill in by singing the missing part. What a swing that you bring to the band. If you want a challenge this week, see if you can work out that missing rhythm. Let's try playing it. One or both instruments is fine. Remember, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. What a swing that you bring to the band. Your turn. What a swing that you bring to the band. Your turn. Well done. Remember, please do pause and rewind the video if you'd like to have another go. Now let's try playing all 3 rhythms one after another. I shall play all 3 rhythms and then I will count you in for your turn. Then I'll play all 3 rhythms again and then count you in for your final playthrough. Here we go. What a swing that you bring to the band. Get ready, your turn next. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Finally, we get to see how all 3 rhythms look and sound when played together at the same time. Feel free to join in on any of the rhythms and switch between them as much as you want. Congratulations! We've now learned our 3 rhythms for Mr. Miller. Next week we will look at developing these further in preparation for turning them into melodies. Have a great week and I'll see you next time.